Collier Wise. Here. Erickson. Here. Holland. Here. Humphrey. Here. Mines. Here. Price. Here. Sorensen. Ward. Here. Mayor Powell. Here. Student Representative Ireland.
Here. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item 3 are the minutes from October 17th and special meeting October 17th regular meeting. Motion is second to approve both sets of these. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 4, addition to the agenda. Mike, John, any additions or corrections? Motion second to approve the adoption of the agenda as printed. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Under Richard T. Hurd, addressing the council, person addressing the council shall use the microphone at the podium. Please raise your hand to be recognized. Go to the podium and state your name and address. Items not on the agenda. Members of the public may speak under Richard T. Hurd on any topic not on the agenda. Remarks are limited to 5 minutes and no decision will be made at this time. For regular agenda items, public testimony will be taken at the beginning of each agenda item after the subject has been announced by the mayor and explained by staff. Any citizen who wishes may speak one time for 5 minutes on each agenda item. Public testimony will then be closed and the topic will be given to the governing body for possible action. At this point, when you see council members and staff to discuss the current agenda item, unless a council member moves to allow another person to speak and there's unanimous consent from the council. Questions from council members, however, may be directed to staff or a member of the public through the presiding officer at any time. At this time, we do have a small business Saturday proclamation, and Rich, can you read that, please?
Proclamation recognizing Small Business Saturday. Whereas the city of Vermillion, apologies, there you go. Whereas the city of Vermillion, South Dakota celebrates our local small businesses and the contributions they make to our local economy and community. According to the United States Small Business Administration, there are currently 28.8 million small businesses in the United States. They represent 99.7% of all businesses with employees in the United States, are responsible for 63% of net jobs created over the past 20 years, and whereas 89% of consumers in the United States agree that small businesses contribute positively to the local community by supplying jobs and generating tax revenue, and whereas 87% of consumers in the United States agree that small businesses are critical to the overall economic health of the United States, and whereas 93% of consumers in the United States agree that it is important for people to support the small businesses that they value in their community. And whereas the Vermillion, South Dakota supports our local businesses and that create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our neighborhoods. And whereas advocacy groups, as well as public and private organizations across the country, have endorsed the Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday, now therefore we, the governing body of the city of Vermillion, South Dakota, do hereby proclaim November 26, 2016 as Small Business Saturday, and urge residents of our community and communities across the country to support small businesses and merchants. So Small Business Saturday, on Small Business Saturday, and throughout the year, dated in Vermillion, South Dakota, the 7th day of November 2016.
Thank you, Rich. John, you'll take care of that presentation. Okay, now, is there anyone in the audience that has any topic that's not on the agenda? Anything? Anyone in the audience? Seeing none, anyone on council have any items that are not on the agenda? Seeing none, then we'll move to old business.
Quick comment.
Certainly.
Mayor, I just want to make sure, in case anyone is watching, we'd like to welcome warmly all the football fans who will be coming to Vermillion this week. So.
Good point. And the teams. Yeah, I think, what is it, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Is that the timetable? Thank you, John. All right, under old business, number A, second reading of ordinance 1348, zone change it to exclude from NRC Natural Resource Conservation District and include in the HI Heavy Industrial District the following described real property: HICUS Tract 2, southeast quarter of the southeast quarter, exception HICUS Edition 792-51, 5th Prime Meridian, Clay County, South Dakota, and Lot 1, Block 1, HICUS Edition City of Vermillion, Clay County, South Dakota. Jose, please.
Thank you. This is the second reading, as you mentioned, for ordinance 1348. This ordinance, as you mentioned again, will be amending the zoning for HICUS Tract 2 and for Lot 1, Block 1, HICUS Edition. The zoning on the parcels would be changing from NRC, Natural Resource Conservation, to HI, or Heavy Industrial. The zone change would allow for the industrial uses to be constructed in the area that's to be rezoned, similar to what you have across the street on the south side of 317 Masaba and so forth. The Planning Commission recommended approval on October 11th. The City Council approved the first reading of the ordinance on October 17th meeting. With all that being said, administration recommends approval of the second reading of ordinance 1348. Being the second reading, a roll call vote is required with the second reading of any ordinance.
Is there anyone in the audience that has any comment on this item? Turn to the council. Motion and second to approve the second reading of ordinance 1348. Since this is the second. There has, as we can do the roll call vote electronically. Thank you. As you can see, the overall results, 9 yes, 0 no. Motion carried. Thank you. Item B, second reading of ordinance 1349, zone change to exclude from R2 residential district and include in the Spady Plan Development District the following described real property: Lot G2, except the west 110.9 feet of the south 198.914 feet thereof, and except Lot 1 of Lot G2, all of the southwest quarter of the southeast quarter of the northwest quarter, and the southeast quarter of the southeast quarter of the northeast quarter. Section 18, Township 92, north, range 51, west of the 5th Prime Meridian, City of Vermillion, Clay County, South Dakota. And again, Jose.
Thanks. Again, this is the second reading of ordinance 1349. The ordinance would amend the zoning of a tract of land north of Cherry Street and east of Norbeck. This parcel will be changing from zoning of R2, which is medium density residential, to the Spady PDD. The zone change would allow for the construction of a complex of twin homes while allowing the surrounding residents a chance to provide input through the process. The Planning Commission met on October 11th to discuss this item. At this meeting, there were several property owners present, and they brought up possible issues with the project. After hearing all of the public's comments, the Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the zone change. The council approved the first reading of the ordinance at their October 17th meeting. With all this being said, administration recommends approval of the second reading of the ordinance 1349. Roll call is required due to it being the second reading.
Thank you, Jose. Again, are there any people in the audience that have a question on this item? Seeing none, turn to the council. Motion and second to approve the second reading of ordinance 1349 as a second reading. Roll call. Well, sir. Well, it's on the,
We got heavy and so the
those guys, so.
go ahead and the work that you're talking about.
Can you speak
However, the property owners do have access from Cherry Street using, there's actually a driveway cut right here that the state allowed. Because of that, if they wanted to vacate that access, it would actually, there's a process that you have to go through the state, formal process in vacating that access. They're choosing not to use it, and we made that very clear at the planning commission meeting where they actually proposed, and that exhibit that you see on there, they actually brought that up, and they're not using that as an access route. They're going to be using that 60 feet just for utilities and so forth. So at this point, they're not intending on using it for access. If they would so choose to in the future, they would have to go through the planning commission, or the property owners would have to be contacted and so forth.
Okay, now we're ready to vote.
And then we have a no vote. Okay, so can we add that, Mike?
Yep.
Okay, so it would be 8 yes and 1 no. Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you.
New business, item A, resolution approving Burnbank Road sidewalk lights. And Shane, please.
Thank you. Over the last couple of years, a more complete sidewalk system has been developed down on Brandon Drive and Natalie Court. Early in October, staff was approached with a request to install streetlights along Burbank Road from Crawford Road over to Natalie Court. The residents' main concern was that it's pretty dark along that corridor of sidewalk at night. This project is a little bit unique because Burbank Road is a county road, not a city street. The city doesn't not put streetlights up on county roads. In the event that Burbank Road would ever become a city street, a proper street lighting system would be installed along Burbank Road, along with other improvements. Those costs would be assessed to the abutting property owners at that time. After staff presented council with a couple different options, direction was given to pursue a lighting system that would be installed and financed by the Vermillion's Light and Power Department. There's a attached resolution that clarifies that the sidewalk lights are to be assessed, or are not to be assessed, but future street light improvements would be assessed. Vermillion Light and Power Department has associated materials and funds in place to cover these expenses. Administration recommends approving the resolution for the sidewalk lights along Burbank Road.
Thank you, Shane. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to comment on this item? Seeing none, turn to the council.
Motion is second to approve the Burbank Road sidewalk lights. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying. We don't need a roll call on this one. You can turn it off. Or we can do a roll call. It's simple.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thanks, Shane. Item B, a request to close Main Street from Court Street West to the west side of Rodigan Platz and Market Street from West Main Street South for 1/2 block for the annual VCDC Parade of Lights. And Derek, please.
Yeah, so I got a map here. I don't know if it's going to go up, but you all have it in your packet. The 8th Annual Parade of Lights put on by the VCDC this year is going to be Friday, December 2nd. And the street closure request is from 4 o'clock to 6:30 p.m. It's going to be a standstill parade this year, but the street closure is still going to be from Main Street, from Center Street to Radigan Platz from 4 o'clock to 7:30. The VCDC plans to contact downtown businesses. So it's going to go from here to here. And the tree lighting will be at Radigan Platz. The request has been reviewed by the fire, EMS, and police departments, and the VCDC plans to clean up the street after the event and make sure it's clean during the event. And Nate's here with any questions. Administration recommends approval of this street closure request.
Thank you, Derek. Any comments or questions from the audience? Seeing none, turn it to the council. Steve? Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, because I would just make sure that Nobody in the audience now. It comes to the
Oh,
council.
yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not in the
You're
audience.
throwing me off. Steve, go ahead.
Thank you. Would one of you two, Derek or Nate, like to talk to us about what a walk-up parade is, or however you describe it?
Stand still.
Stand still parade.
I'll tag in.
A no walking parade.
Sure, thank you. Nate Welch from the Vermillion Chamber and Development Company. One thing that we're looking forward to, and whether it be just on the map here as you're looking at that, we talked about over the last couple of years, we started to get a lot of activity right at the Radigan Platts just because the event sort of culminates with Santa lighting the tree. And so what we found was as the parade was going, they really weren't going in front of a lot of people. And so we were closing more streets than we really needed to because we didn't have much of an audience because the audience was down at Radigan Platts. So what we wanted to do was basically revert it and make the parade stand still and have the people walk through the parade. And then so what you'll see is at the end of the evening, or right about the time that Santa would be lighting the tree, he'll actually jump on a fire truck and then he'll go down the street as we kind of just help move people to the Radigan Platts and light up the tree that way. It'll hopefully, our hope is that we can also encourage businesses, whether they are in the closed area or anywhere else in town, to be able to come in and be part of it right there. So it'll be sort of more like a festival, but also with the ambiance of that parade.
Motion is second to approve. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thanks, Nick. Item C, authorize the purchase of used ambulance and the trade-in of the 2007 Sprinter ambulance. And Matt, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we discussed this afternoon at the noon meeting, historically, Clay County Commission budgets $30,000 annually for ambulance purchase, and every 5 years we purchase a new ambulance. That gives us $150,000 at the end of that 5 years. With the rising cost of new ambulance purchases, which historically we've purchased new or demo vehicles, an average new ambulance now is costing about $175,000. We do have some options as far as that goes, and that would be to every other cycle remount our ambulances. And basically we look at the vehicle as two different parts, the chassis and the box patient compartment. To do that, though, we have one ambulance that's not able to be remounted, and that is the 2007 Dodge Sprinter. It's an all-in-one van-type ambulance, and so what we've done is we've looked around, and we've been able to locate a used ambulance with half the amount of miles on it. It is 4 years older, but it's a Ford with a patient compartment box on it. It's in very good shape. We've been there, looked at it, had taken the city mechanic with us to look at it, and everything seems to check out fine with it. Prior to this meeting, Clay County Commissioners have approved purchase of the ambulance pending approval of the trade-in by the council. At this time, administration recommends that the city council authorize the purchase of the 2003 ambulance with the trade-in of the 2007 Dodge Sprinter ambulance.
Thank you, Matt. Council?
Second.
Motion is second to approve authorized purchase of used ambulance and trade-in of 2007 ambulance. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Item D, resolution authorizing and directing the issuance and sale of revenue bonds series 2016A for Northeast Electric Substation Project. And Mike, please.
The electric department and the engineering departments have been working on plans and specifications for the Northeast substation. The council's been informed of this as it progressed. The easements for the extension of the transmission line have been acquired. The land, which is to be donated from the VCDC, was rezoned as part of the action earlier tonight, and they're also working on the final plat of that. Monty Munkle, electric superintendent, Shane Greasy, the utility manager, reported at the noon meeting on the project, whether to include the ring bus or not in the project, which was agreed not to include. So as we're proceeding down this, the project has an estimated cost of just under $5.5 million. We don't have the money to do that whole project ourselves, so we're proposing that we authorize a electric utility surcharge bond in the amount of not to exceed $390,000 plus cost of issuance estimated about $75,000. The bond will be a 20-year maturity with interest projections of 1.1 to 4% over the term of the bond. The bond will be callable after 5 years. The bond will be repaid from surcharge electric fees. The surcharge fees on the bonds are to keep the bonds from going against the city's 5% debt limit. 5% of the assessed value is the corporate limit for any city in South Dakota. We've done surcharge bonds for some water improvements, wastewater, and the 2009 electric transmission line. The bond resolution was prepared by Dorsey and Whitney, bond counsel, and it's been reviewed by this city attorney. If the bond resolution is approved, we would have to be published for 20 days, the referral period before any bonds could be issued. This would happen sometime with published would be, I think, the 9th of December. In talking with Doherty and Company, who had been working with us on marketing the bond, they would probably look to selling the bonds after the first of the year, just because of the activity around the holidays. Sometimes there's not people in offices and such, that to get a better job of marketing, they'd try to wait till after the first of the year. As far as I know, we don't have anything going to be bid yet at this time. If the bond resolution is approved, the next item on the agenda is to set the surcharge fee. Administration would recommend adoption of the resolution authorizing and directing the issuance and sale of revenue bonds series 2016A for the Northeast Electric Substation project.
Thank you, Mike. Council?
Mr. Mayor,
Question?
given the review and the work done on this, which is extensive, and the fact that 3 well-known legal names are attached to this, Dorsey, Whitney, and Jim McCullough, I move approval of the resolution authorizing and directing issuance of the sale of the revenue bonds for this electric substation in the Northeast Ward. Thank you.
A motion and a second to approve the resolution authorizing and directing the issuance and sale of revenue bond series 2016A for Northeast Electric Substation project. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thanks, Mike. Next item, resolution establishing a surcharge for Series 2016A revenue bond and revising electrical rates. Again, Mike, please.
With the adoption of the bond resolution, requirement of that would be to establish a surcharge fee for the 2016 series 2016A bond. A bond council has required that the resolution setting the fee be adopted before the bond sale would continue to assure the bondholders that the revenue stream is in place to make the bond payments. As I stated earlier, we've done surcharge bonds for different projects for the city. The transmission line in 2009 has a surcharge rate on it, and that rate resolutions adopted since then have included the surcharge fee. We usually look about this time of the year to adjust the city's electric rates for any increase in power. The Missouri River Energy Service, our supplemental power supplier, when they had their regional meetings within the last couple weeks, did not have a rate finalized yet. WAPA, who also provides power to the city, has indicated they're going to have a reduction for the drought adder, but at present, without the MRES rates, we don't know exactly what our rate adjustment would be for 2017. So the resolution presented is revenue neutral, meaning there's going to be no increase in rates or decrease in rates. What we're doing is reallocating the rate we have between for the electric utility operations, the 2009 surcharge bond, and the new surcharge fee for the 2016 A bond. So it's kind of in the second and third page where it shows the surcharge fee for the Series 2009 and the new surcharge fee added for the 2016 Series bond. So for the utility customer, this surcharge fee will not show any difference in their electric rates at the present time.
May I ask a question? Do we have any indication of what the timeline might be on that, on the rate? I understand that they don't have it yet, but any idea of how long that might take?
We've just received some of that last week, so I think at this point, I would say before the end of the year, we should know that. We'll visit with Missouri River now and blend the two together, and then take it to Utilities Committee and have them make a recommendation. But I would think we should be able to have something before you by the end of the year.
Motion second to approve the resolution establishing a surcharge for Series 2016 A levy bond and revising electrical rates. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Item F, annual write-off of old accounts receivable. Mike, please.
The city bills for utilities, landfill fee, ambulance service charges, and other miscellaneous items such as weed, snow tagging, and removal, damage to city property. These bills are considered accounts receivable to the city and as such are recorded on our accounting records. To remove uncollectible accounts, the city council must take action as required by SDCL 922-4. The action to remove the accounts is just from the accounting records, but collection efforts will continue. Accounts either have been sent to small claims court or a collection agency unless they were discharged by bankruptcy. The request is to remove 131 utility accounts totaling $26,183.11, 15 general or miscellaneous accounts receivable totaling $1,893.81, return checks, 3 of them totaling $265.53, and 90 ambulance accounts totaling $48,794.33. I've included a little schedule in there showing the write-offs from 2007 to 2016. Just for reference, the utility accounts, the $26,000 was based on a billing of just a little over 10 million, or it's less, just a little more than 0.25%. So all in all, I think we're doing a pretty good job trying to collect these accounts.
Thank you, Mike. No further questions for Mike?
Considering the small number of accounts, it's possible that the difference in percentages is just negligible, but I was just curious if you have noted anything that might contribute to either a rise or fall in the number of accounts that we've had to dismiss over time, or if it's just because it's a small number, it just goes up and down.
Our biggest one would be bankruptcy. Sometimes do have larger amounts. Collection has to stop on that, so we could have one account with several $1,000s on that we're barred from doing any collection efforts on. And so that can sometimes change the dollar amount or the number of accounts. And whereas another year where you don't have bankruptcies or you have smaller ones on just residential accounts, we don't have near as large of amounts.
Okay, thanks.
Further questions for Mike? Do we have a motion?
No, we don't.
Motion and a second to approve the write-off of old accounts receivables. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 9, fuel quotes. Mike, please.
Should have a sheet in front of you with the fuel quotes tonight. And the first is 4,350 gallons of unleaded gasoline with 10% ethanol from Stern Oil is $1.70 per gallon. Item 2 is 3,000 gallons of number 1 and number 2 diesel fuel dyed. This is a blended cost. We're going into the winter months where they blend the two together to keep it running in the vehicles. It's $1.74, the average cost. And item 3 is 1,000 gallons of number 1 and number 2 diesel fuel clear. The average cost is $2.04. Our second quote was from Brunick Service on item 1, $1.74. Item 2, $1.75. Item 3, $2.09. Stern Oil would be low on all 3.
Council? Motion is second to approve the low bid. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you. City Manager's report. John, please.
Thank you. Just a reminder, the police department is conducting a community survey. If anybody's received that postcard, we'd please ask you to take a few minutes to complete that survey. They're trying to reach the number they need to make it statistically significant. Pretty close. We'd hope to be able to do that without having to do another mailing if possible. Just a reminder that city offices will be closed this Friday, November 11th, for the Veterans Day holiday. The Friday, November 11th curbside recycling collection, which is more the southeast part of the community, the Friday, November 11th collection will be on Monday, November 14th, due to the holiday on Friday. The landfill and recycling center will not be open this Saturday morning, November 12th. We have advertised, there's one opening. It's the final year of a 2-year term on our tree board. Individuals interested in applying are asked to submit an expression of interest form. If they'd please do that by noon on the 17th. It's anticipated the City Council will make an appointment at the next meeting on November 21st. And then the Planning Commission, they will be considering a conditional use permit for a sorority house at 104 North University. That'll be at their meeting on Monday, November 14th at 5:30. It's anticipated to be a short-term conditional use permit while the regular sorority house on North Plum Street is reconstructed.
Thank you, John. Any comments or questions for our city manager? Seeing none. The next item is invoices payable. Stump mic time. Any questions on any of the items on our invoices payable? If not, would somebody say something?
Second.
Motion is second to pay our bills. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It's a time change.
Yeah. Consensus agenda. A, set a public hearing date of November 21, 2016 for annual liquor and wine license renewals. B, set a public hearing date of November 21, 2016 for the transfer of retail off-sale liquor license to First Dakota National Bank from Augustus Management, LLC for 912 North Dakota Street. Item C, set a public hearing date of November 21, 2016 for the renewal of retail off-sale liquor license to First Dakota National Bank for 912 North Dakota Street. A motion and a second to approve the consensus agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Motion and a second. People, if you haven't already voted, vote tomorrow. Now, Steve. I think we had a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. We're adjourned. Thank you.